Welcome to Mid-South Flavor. I'm Jay, and today we're making some spicy lollipop chicken legs. If you're new to the channel and you enjoy cooking, grilling, or pretty much anything food related, then start off by hitting that subscribe button. And when you do, tap the little bell icon next to it. That way you don't miss anything. Today we're back with another very affordable recipe. We're cooking chicken legs, which you can get for really cheap at pretty much any grocery store. But the twist on these is we're gonna make them full of flavor and a little bit spicy. The toughest part of this recipe is preparing the chicken legs to make them into lollipop chicken legs. So yesterday evening, I went ahead and prepared those and got them seasoned up so we could do the cooking today. But let's jump back to yesterday evening so you can see how to prepare them. Okay, we've got our dozen chicken legs all laid out here. Before we season it, we're going to remove the skin off of the ends of the chicken legs, and I'm fixing to show you how to do that. Okay, this is the toughest part of preparing these. We want to remove the skin from about here back. So to start off with, get your knife. You just want to cut into here and cut around the bone, kind of going all the way to the bone here. And once we get this trimmed, now we need to try to peel this back and basically just get your thumb under here and go over that knuckle. Pull all of this back the best that you can. And you may have to trim it up a little bit. Some of it's kind of pretty tough to get off. So kind of go in here and cut the skin. And then just kind of pop it off here. And you can get rid of that if you would like. You can clean this up a little bit more. We're going to cut some of this. Sometimes this also works better if you have a paper towel that you can grab some of these pieces here. Just use your paper towel and grab a hold of it right around that bone, that little knuckle there, and you can kind of clean some of that off. You really don't have to get this perfect. Once you put it on the grill, some of that will kind of cook away there, but so I wouldn't worry about getting that perfectly clean. But once you have this trimmed, now you want to push this down and just kind of make sure that you can get that meat pushed down, and be careful because there is a bone right here. You don't want to ram that in your finger, but sometimes you can pull that bone out if you get down in there. You don't always have to pull it out, but push that meat and that skin way down here to the end. That's what's going to make these lollipop chickens the best. Now that we have this all trimmed up and the meat pushed down, they actually resemble a lollipop. That's where they get the name, the lollipop chicken legs. So now we just have to do the other 11 this way, and then we'll get to seasoning them. I'm not gonna lie, the first couple times you're doing this, it will probably take you 20-25 minutes to get these cut, trimmed, and the meat pushed down the way that it needs to be. But now we're moving on to seasoning, and today we're going to be using this Strawberries Shake On Barbecue seasoning. This is one of my favorites. We're gonna just sprinkle this all over these. You don't have to get it on too heavy, but you wanna make sure you kind of get it evenly all around these. The seasonings that you kind of get down on your table, just use that to roll this around in. Make sure you don't waste that seasoning. You can use whatever type of seasoning that you like, or a rub. This is just one of my favorites, so I tend to use this on quite a lot. You could stop with just a seasoning or a rub, but since these are going to be spicy chicken legs, we're going to hit them with a little bit of cayenne pepper. So we're just going to sprinkle some cayenne pepper over the top of these because we like these chicken legs spicy. Once you're finished seasoning these up, however you want to, then you can let these set for at least 20 to 30 minutes. You can leave them overnight if you're going to do like I'm going to do. I'm going to cook these tomorrow, so I'll put these in a zip top bag and put them in the refrigerator overnight, and they'll be ready to put on the smoker tomorrow. Now we jump back to today. The chicken legs are out of the refrigerator. They've been setting out now for about 10 to 15 minutes, so they're not super cold for putting on the grill. And once again today, we're cooking on the Camp Chef Woodwind pellet grill. We're gonna start these off at a lower temperature, about 200 degrees. That way they can get some smoke and get some flavor before we crank the temperature up. So let's get these ready to go on the grill. Since we're cooking at a low temperature and going to be smoking these for a while, we're actually going to wrap the bone or the leg part with some foil. That'll keep the legs from getting super dark and mainly get the smoke onto the meat and the skin itself. Today on the Woodwind, we're using apple flavored wood pellets. I love using this for chicken, especially these lollipop chicken legs. So that's what I chose today. So we're going to be smoking with apple wood. Today we have a drumstick and wing rack that we're actually going to use for this. So that way they can just be hanging here. If you don't have one of these, you can just cook them standing up. But we figured we'd load up this rack and cook them this way. Now that we have our rack loaded up, we're going to let these smoke here for about 30 minutes. All right, these chicken legs have been smoking now for about 30 minutes on 200 degrees. They were actually rolling quite a bit of smoke a while ago, so I think they have some good apple flavor right now. I'm going to crank the temperature up on this to about 325 degrees, and we're going to check back in probably about 30 to 45 minutes to see where the temperature of these chicken legs are sitting. But let's crank this grill up, that way we can get this skin on here a little crispy. All right, these chicken legs are up to a little over 150 degrees. It's been about 35 minutes or so, and these are ready to be dipped. And here's what we're dipping these in today. Today we're using a barbecue sauce by KC Masterpiece. It's their kettle cooked fiery habanero and honey barbecue sauce, and this has quite a bit of a kick to it. We also thinned down this barbecue sauce with some apple juice. We used about a cup of barbecue sauce to a half a cup of the apple juice. If you're dealing with cold barbecue sauce, you may want to warm your barbecue sauce up a little bit before you go to mixing this together. With this spicy sauce and the cayenne pepper that we season these with, they will be spicy. If you don't want these quite as spicy, then leave off the cayenne and choose you a different barbecue sauce and you'll be just fine. As you can see, this skin is looking great now. It's crisping up really well. These are ready to pull off of here and dip into our sauce mixture. Before we dip these, we're going to go ahead and take the foil off. So just unwrap it and pull your foil off here. And as you can see, it kept the bone from getting too black during the smoking process. Now we just dip these, roll them around into the barbecue sauce, make sure you get it coated pretty good, and then put it back over onto the grill. The holders on my rack were a little bit large, so I'm leaving the foil right on the ends of it. That'll hold them into that holder better, but yeah, I just stripped off the foil here. That way I can go ahead and dip these. Now that we have these chicken legs dipped, they're back onto the grill, and we're going to put them on there for probably another 10 to 15 minutes. We're just waiting on that barbecue sauce to kind of tack up and waiting on the temperature of the chicken legs to get to about 170 degrees. As soon as they reach that point, they'll pretty well be finished, and we'll check back with you. The temperature on these chicken legs are up to where they need to be now, so I'm going to take them off of the grill. Going to let it set for just a minute. Okay, I'm fixing to try a bite of one of these to see how it tastes. That's really good. Still pretty hot. It's got a lot of flavor in it, and it's pretty spicy. I don't guess I have to eat the whole thing for you, but yeah, this is really good. And there you have it. That's a great way to spice up the common chicken leg. The applewood flavor along with the kick from that habanero barbecue sauce was really great. Let me know in the comments below what kind of barbecue sauce would be your choice for a recipe like this. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, that way you don't miss the next video. Thanks for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And remember, on the grill or in the kitchen, here in the Mid-South, we do flavor.